Hey y'all, Chelsea and Danny here.
Enjoy this episode of Today's Homeowner here on YouTube.
Today's Homeowner with Danny Lipford. Real projects for real homeowners with real solutions. Information and inspiration on improving your home from professional remodeler Danny Lipford.
Welcome to the show this week. You know, we all have maintenance concerns about our homes, and especially the outside of the home. That's where it really gets a lot of wear and tear from the weather. The key to a low maintenance approach to your home is to use low maintenance building materials. Now, we'll look at a number of low maintenance building products that are available for siding, doors, and decking around the home. And hopefully, we can show you some ways to take some of the headaches out of home ownership. Now, don't go anywhere. We've got some great ideas for you. Now, if your home has wood or hardboard siding, then you already know what type of maintenance nightmare that can be. Now, over the years, the manufacturers of vinyl and aluminum siding have tried to address that problem, but there's a couple problems there. First of all, aluminum siding is painted, so sooner or later it's going to oxidize, whereas vinyl siding tends to be, in the years past, very flimsy and just not very rigid. Well, over the years they've certainly improved vinyl siding, both in the rigidity as well as its performance, but now they have a new twist. Actually, it's so new they don't even call it vinyl siding, they call it solid core siding. And this house that you see behind me is getting a solid core siding makeover, and the man in charge is Frank Whitaker. Well, Frank, it looks like you guys have it ready to start hanging siding here.
That is correct. We have our vapor barrier up that keeps the water from getting on the wood from behind the solid core siding. We also have our J-channel installed, which is the part that receives our siding, make the completion of the product look nice, and also our corner post as well that receive the ends of the product.
Now, this house seemed like a perfect candidate for a product like this, with being 40 years old, no insulation, a lot of drafty areas in the house. It's going to make a big difference in, of course, the energy bill.
That's correct. This panel, it yields about an R value of 4.5 on the home, which in a home like this that's a little older, it really helps on the energy bill a lot. Plus the noise reduction and also the ability of the panel to take good solid hits, make sure the panel lasts for a long time for the homeowner.
You know, a lot of people I've heard concern about different types of siding and how well it does in terms of, say, some heavy winds. And of course, we're in an area of Florida here right now that certainly gets its share of high winds. How does something like this really work for that?
Well, let me show you.
Okay.
One of the things that really makes this panel really nice for the Florida and along the coastline is that when you snap the two pieces together, when they come together, it actually takes and works right into the other panel, causing the seams themselves to lay tight, so that on the wall you hardly see the seams at all, which takes and makes less opportunity for winds, high winds like you're getting along the coast here, to actually tear the panel off the wall.
Oh, that's great. It's great the way it overlaps. And really, tell us about this panel itself. I mean, it's basically looks like just regular vinyl siding attached to some type of foam, but what other differences are there?
Well, there are some differences. One, you're actually dealing with one piece of vinyl siding. If you'll notice here, as what would normally be two pieces joined together, it's actually one. And the other thing about it is this panel with the insulation backing is actually married to the entire panel, which gives you a good, solid grasp on the wall and a good, solid panel, very rigid.
Okay. All right. Now, installation, I guess, pretty much just like any other vinyl siding installation, that you start out with your J-channel on the bottom, and as far as fastening, how do you handle that?
Well, it installs about the same. The one thing that is really nice for the homeowner in its cost and also for the applicator is it installs a lot quicker. And plus, when you put the nails into this panel, if you use a 1-inch washer, you increase your wind rating on it from 180 to about 200 to 225, which is really great for this area.
That is nice. Well, I see that you've decided to take it all the way to the ground. Again, a way of controlling the air that goes in and out from under the house, but I assume you'll be putting some type of foundation vents that are needed.
That's correct. The proper venting would be needed along the bottom here. Plus, the vents marry together great with this siding since it has a lot of rigidity to it. It looks really great on the wall.
Okay, what about just in general terms cost on something like this? What would how does it compare? And I mean, I assume because it's integrated together, it's really not much more expensive than the regular application of putting foam on the wall, then putting vinyl siding on the wall.
It actually is even a little less.
Oh, I see.
When you compare having to put two panels together and then add a 4.5 insulating value to the back.
Oh
you
yeah,
actually spend a little less.
Just the actual installation time's got to be a lot less.
That's right.
Great. Well, good looking stuff, Frank.
Thank you.
The doors on your home, just like the siding, takes a tremendous amount of abuse from the elements, and to make it worse, doors have to continue to operate throughout this abuse. What happens is the changes in humidity and temperature causes the door to expand and contract. That can cause a lot of problems. One being sticky doors, doors hard to open and close, just like the homeowners have here. And also, that expansion and contraction can separate some of the joints you have on a wood door and eventually cause it to have to be replaced. Now, another thing, the finishes on a door like this. Now, this is a stained finish and really looks good on the front of the house, but because of the elements, it only lasts for just a year or two. Now, at least this area allows a little bit of protection against the elements, but many doors are right out on the front of a house. Now, one solution a lot of homeowners are finding is to replace their wood doors with fiberglass doors. Now, recently, we talked with a door manufacturer that makes and sells a lot of fiberglass doors as to why they're so popular.
Well, recently, some surveys have indicated and actually demonstrated something that we've known for some time, is that the entryway is very important. It's the focal point of the home. Everyone that comes to your home is going to come through that spot of your house. And people want the warmth and beauty of wood in many cases, but they didn't want the maintenance, they didn't want the problems that were represented with wood. And so with fiberglass technology that we introduced in 1983, we've been able to produce products that replicate the wood door beauty features and eliminate the warping, splitting, cracking. And in 1997, we introduced a finishing system, which prior to 1997 was kind of a drawback for some people. They didn't know where to get the finishing system. They weren't sure what they could use to finish the door. And so in 1997, we introduced a finishing system that we guarantee it for 5 years. And it is a low maintenance product. It's easy to apply. It can be applied professionally or by an individual. And as you look at this particular unit, you can see we've got oak trim here. We have our fiberglass side light, an oak mull post, and then a fiberglass door. And this is replicating wood. We say it's what a wood door would be if it could be. And it gives you 4 times the R value of a wood door, and it has a lifetime warranty on it, which is something else that people are interested in today, is how long is this product going to last?
Obviously, we don't have to worry about this fiberglass door rotting. We could actually take a sander and completely strip away all of the stain, and the weather still won't affect the raw fiberglass. Now, another point that Greg made is the R value that fiberglass doors have. This door has an R value of 4 compared to an R value for a wooden door, only 1. So it really makes a difference in being able to save a little bit on your power bill. Another thing with a fiberglass door, it's structurally stable so that when you install it in a door jamb properly, screw everything off as it should be, and the door lock's working well, it'll stay that way because it's not going to expand and contract or sag as many wood doors will do. Now, as far as cost on a door like this, it's a good bit less than a wood door. Now, this one's 8 foot tall, pretty impressive door. It cost around $700, whereas a wood door of the same size and style would cost closer to $800. So a big difference there. So the fiberglass door will be more resilient, more efficient, and a lot more reasonable. Decks are another exterior surface that really take a lot of abuse from Mother Nature. Now, most decks are built out of redwood, cedar, or in this case, pressure-treated wood. All of them need regular maintenance by cleaning, resealing, or restaining. Now, even the most pampered deck, sooner or later, is going to have some wood damage. The solution might be composite decking. Now, over the last few years, these molded products that are made up of plastic and wood fibers have really become popular, and the number of companies making these products have really grown significantly. Now, how do you know which one of the composite deckings is right for you? Well, recently we went to a building supply trade show and talked with a number of the manufacturers and let them tell us what separates their products from the rest.
The 3 things that set us apart is we have a very complete product line with a price point for every homeowner's budget. We have a basic product that weathers to a soft ivory gray. We have a select product that's rough sawn gray and rough sawn pine. And then we have our premium colors, 3 new colors introduced, a redwood, a gray, and a cedar. These products will only fade minimally with weather. Plus, they're reversible. You can show the nice wood grain look on one side. If you prefer the brush side, you could show that side. So all in all, we have 6 new colors this year with price points ranging from economy all the way up to premium.
Almost every composite manufacturer has a 5/4 or a 2x6 product. What's unique about our product is we have a tongue and groove product where it has a concealed fastener system built within the product. Put a stainless steel deck screw down in here, screw it in here, and then slide your next piece in. Therefore, you have no screws showing. A lot like an indoor floor, indoor wood floor for the outside. The other unique thing is this has got a true 6 inches of coverage as opposed to 5.5 inches on a normal 5/4 board. And the other unique thing is we're the only product that can go 24 inches on center. That's very important from the standpoint that the contractor can save time. It goes in a lot quicker. They don't have to spend as much time on their joists. Saves money because you don't have to buy as many joists. Again, we have the true 6 inches of coverage. There's more coverage. They don't have to buy as many boards as if they were putting in a 5/4 or a 2x6 deck. So that's one of the areas where we're very unique as opposed to everybody else on the market.
Well, there are really 2 or 3 characteristics that set our product apart from the others that are on the market. One of them is, and I think this is important to a lot of folks these days, is that it is made from fully recycled products, both wood fiber and plastic, 100% recycled. The other one, and this is probably the most important one, is the manufacturing technology that's used to make joist deck is unique in the industry in that it is a fully encapsulated product, meaning that the wood fiber is uniformly coated and encapsulated in plastic, zero maintenance type of product. And again, because of the uniform density that we achieve, we can actually machine the product into various finished surfaces and even use it to build new trim products.
Trex has the power of the brand. I think, Trex has been around for about 10 years now, and it's the only composite decking to have a track record. It's been in places like the Florida Everglades, the Jersey Shore, where we have it for boardwalks, Mount Rushmore, a lot of public park environments and things like that, where there's a lot of harsh weather, punishing climates, and a lot of foot traffic, people walking on it, tourists, millions of tourists a year. So I think if it's going to hold up in an environment like that, it's really going to do well for your backyard deck. We also have 5 colors. We have brand new saddle, which is a deep tan color. Weathers just a little bit, but keeps these nice rich tones. We have 4 other colors that are, perfect for just about any home style. And another great thing about Trex is that you can really create unique designs. And I think you can see from this deck that we've done some circular patterns, some curves and angles that you just can't do with any other decking. And that's because it bends a little bit easier than wood, and yet it's durable.
There's certainly a lot to choose from, and with all the different colors and styles, there's bound to be one to suit your taste. Now, all the materials we looked at will be a little more expensive than the pressure-treated wood, but after a few years, you won't have to worry about your deck looking like this. We've really just touched the tip of the iceberg when we're talking about low-maintenance exterior products for your home. Now, whether it's siding, doors, or decking, there's tons of options out there. Now, if you're about to have some repair work done to your home, ask about some of these low-maintenance options, and especially if you're about to build a new home. Think about it 5 years down the road, and if you do the right thing, you can really relax a little bit more and watch the neighbors do some of their chores. Thanks for watching this week. I'm Danny Lipford.
Get ready to review your Fix-It list as Danny and home repair expert Joe Truini show you this week's simple solution.
And Joe, our viewers always love painting tips that you share with us. What do you have this week?
Well, here we're going to be talking about painting around panes of glass. In a case like this, I'm painting this French door. We've got 30 panes of glass to paint around, which can be a nightmare if you're not doing it neatly or find an efficient way of doing it.
Well, that'll take a long, long time to paint that. I see a lot of homeowners that'll take masking tape and tape off every pane. I mean, that takes forever.
It takes way too long. This is an easier way. After you get through painting around the glass, you will end up getting some paint on, which is fine. Just trying to keep it to a minimum. But to get it off, once it dries, you can use a wide drywall knife. This is a 6-inch knife. You just hold it tight against the wood, then use a razor scraper to just get the paint right off the glass.
And I guess the wide blade really protects the wood, because with a razor knife, you can really gouge up that wood pretty bad.
You could. And the other thing it does is, because you've got the blade against the edge of the wood, it leaves a little strip of paint on the glass, which helps seal out cold air.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
Now, in this case, this is a pane that I just painted, so the paint itself is still wet. To get that off, if you want to attempt to do it before it dries, is get a smaller putty knife with square edges. Make sure it's not rounded off, and a cotton cloth. Wrap the blade in the cotton cloth and pull it tight so you've got a nice edge there, and just run it right up there.
Okay.
And it leaves the glass pretty clean. You can always come back later if there's any haze on it and wash it right off.
Okay, that's great. Probably the best tip when you're painting French doors like this, just take your time and minimize the amount of paint you get on the glass.
Now let's join Danny at the Home Center to check out this week's best new product.
With all the different tools you can choose for a toolbox, this has got to be one of the most useful tools I've ever seen. The locking plier set. There's so many uses for it, but they've made it just a little bit better with the Vice Grip Toolbox Multi-Purpose Tool. Now, I have one of these myself, and I can tell you, it works very well. Now, let me show you some of the things they have here, some of the features. First of all, you still have the locking plier ability here, but it's rounded so that you can really clamp down on dowel rods or pieces of pipe. Then right in here, you have a wire cutter that actually will even cut small bolts and screws. Then on the end here is where it really gets interesting. First of all, you have one knife blade that's nice and sharp and has a little wire stripper right on the inside. Then the next blade is serrated right on this end and still very sharp. Also, you have a bit driver that will actually stop at this point or has a little catch there that allows it to extend down. Now, this will accept any type of 1/4-inch power bit. This particular one turns right around, and you have the Phillips head right on the end. So there's so many different ways you can use this, and it's only $20, and sounds like to me a great gift idea for you.
Now let's go outside for Around the Yard with Danny and lawn and garden expert Barbara Katz.
Danny, how many times have you gone to a new home and seen either the builder or the homeowner take their plants and just jam them up against the foundation and then put some kind of a specimen tree on the corner of the house, and you just know that it's never going to stay quite that size?
Well, I see that all the time because we're building additions to those homes 10 or 15 years later, and you'll see a lot of the trees pressed right up against the house and a lot of times causing a lot of damage.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, for instance, how tall do you think something like this is going to get?
Probably 8 feet, 10 feet maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a fair guess when you're in the nursery and you see this plant like this. But you have to know that it's going to get to 60 to 70 feet, and it's probably going to be 10 feet wide. It's just impossible for the homeowner when they're shopping for plants to believe that they're really going to get that big, but they do. So if you can take the time to read these labels and actually trust them, the labels might actually sometimes underestimate their size, but it's still important. Something like this, a spirea, just looks wonderful in this pot, and a lot of people would like to put it in the ground and just hope it stays like this, but it's going to get to about 4 feet, probably by 4 feet. And then, you know, you can save money by actually buying a smaller plant of one that you want.
That's pretty small there. What is that?
This is a variegated euonymus, and it just looks pretty adorable in this pot size. But again, it's going to get to 8 to 10 feet tall by easily 6 feet wide. So, you know, really my advice is when you start to plant in your front yard or wherever, be sensible about the actual eventual sizes of these plants, because you're going to save them in the end. They're not going to kill each other off, and the yard is going to grow into something that really looks pretty beautiful.
Hey, thanks for watching this episode of Today's Homeowner. And don't forget to comment, like, and hit the bell icon so that we can notify you when new videos are posted.
And don't go anywhere, click around and continue the home improving fun.